First, I'd like to say thank you. I'm so humbled and feel blessed for this opportunity. I think it's a rare opportunity anytime you get a chance to say thank you to every single person that's part of a community that helped save my life. And I'm excited to share my experiences here at Serra to explain just that. First, to say thank you, it's tough because I was mad at Coach Carter for not giving me a roster of exactly who's in the room so I can go down and say it. But anybody that's been a Padre or been part of the Padre community, to be able to stand up here one day and say, once a Padre, always a Padre, is a blessing, and it means so much to me and my mom and where we come from and everything I've been blessed to be a part of. So, thank you. I want to start off with a quote that I learned at a very young age, and to this day plays a huge role in my life. And it's, don't expect to accomplish your dreams if you're not willing to help others accomplish theirs. And I thought it was perfect for tonight's event, for the mission and the goal of Fund a Dream in my own personal life. Because thanks to everybody in this room and everybody that's been part of Serra in the history of this great place, I'm able to stand up here and say thank you for helping me, allow me to continue to accomplish my dreams. Three things that I wanted to cover tonight. I wanted to kind of give you a background and talk to you about applying to Serra, my experience here at Serra, and graduating from Serra and what I'm doing now. While I'm doing that and sharing my experience, I want you to keep in mind that where I come from and my situation, you have to earn the right to be a part of anything great. And I understood that at a young age. And my upbringing, a tough situation. I was born and raised in Redwood City and was quickly introduced to a street lifestyle. And with that, you got to earn the right. And in those circumstances, your survival depends on that. So my competitive nature, I was going to earn the right from everybody around me in every situation I was in. As early as I can remember, I was introduced to my superwoman. She was strong, loving, beautiful, passionate, and understanding. Her work ethic and methods of discipline and sacrifice were infectious and inspiring. Her name was Mom. When I was 8, I woke up one morning and my mom looked at me square in the face, and I could tell she'd been crying all night. And she said, "Your dad's not coming back." And for me, at that moment, life just got real. Earning the right just got real. At that very moment, my mom sat me down, and she wanted to make sure that I understood how my sister and I and her are going to get through this. She was a single mom that was just incredible. I mean, words can't explain it. She said, "I can promise you this, that my unconditional love and my loyalty is with you forever, and I will do whatever it takes to help you accomplish your dreams." She explained that our situation will never define who I am or what I'm capable of doing. As a single mom working 2 to 3 jobs, St. Vincent de Paul bringing a box of food every Monday to make sure we have food on the table, things were real tough. At this point, I was blessed enough to witness and completely be immersed in the idea of unconditional love and loyalty at its highest level of commitment to my dreams. She's working 2 to 3 jobs, she's never home. But when she does get home, she's doing things and making sure that I'm around the right people and the right things to be successful. At this point, I needed an outlet, and football was introduced to my life. I was 10. I was pretty good at it. And I think sports sometimes, it's fun to get to know the personal story of that athlete, because if I have a chance to explain why I potentially might have been a little different or pretty good at running the football, football was an opportunity for me to perform in a place of people to help them understand who had the coolest mom in the world, and I wanted my mom to feel that. So every time I touched that ball, I was going to right. People were gonna understand. Understanding how to be humble, understanding how to fight for your why. I learned all these things. It's the basic foundation of how I was built. It was all because of my superwoman. I loved her very much, and every time I got an opportunity to run the ball, I made sure she understood that. As I got older, things got a little tougher. What I wanted to do tonight, I've been a part of a couple Fun to Dream dinners, and I talked to Coach Carter, and I said, listen, how real can I get? And he said, Dave, listen, let him know. So I wanted to be as clear as possible with being respectful at the same time, because I don't want to scare nobody. But I wanted to paint the picture and the reality of who I am and where I came from, so that you understand, if anybody has a young man that's 14 or knows anybody that's 14, just know by the time I was 14, I was in the street life, I was in the gangs, substance abuse. I was a part of owning a firearm, and I'm 14. This is before I got to Serra. So I was definitely earning the right and surviving, because that's where I come from. If I misunderstood how to protect and love my family, it's because at that time, the leadership in my life, my dad had left me. The next male figure, role model that I had was facing a murder rap. And for me, to have an older sister, my best friend, drop out of high school at sophomore year, you can kind of see or hear why it might be tough for me to understand how things work. Then before you know it, like my superwoman would always show up and do, I'm in a car and I'm on my way to open house at Serra High School. I remember like yesterday. I walked through those doors. It looks different now. This is beautiful. But I remember walking through, and I'm thinking, just like most athletes, there goes the math table, Spanish, history. I'm looking for the helmet. And I spot the helmet. And it was actually right here. And I sprinted to that table. And I said, Mom, come on, I want to go to that table. And I remember there was a bunch of banners and a bunch of names on the wall, and I'm staring at them. And at the time, Mr. McKenzie was trying to introduce himself. And I don't think I said anything. I was just mesmerized, the helmet, the football, the high school, this place is amazing. And the first thing I said is, what is that? All those names on those banners, how do you get your name on that? And he says, well, on and off the field, you have to be a great man and perform at a high level. And I said, okay. I'm in the car ride home. My mom's crying. She's saying a prayer, and she says, God, I hope that my son gets an opportunity to be a part of this place. I looked at my mom and started crying and said, Mom, I promise you that I'm gonna get my name on that banner to make sure everybody understood how important you are to me. And that was that. I remember the first time I stepped on this campus. With my background and learning how to survive, instincts becomes a crucial point. So I got really good at instincts. So as soon as I stepped on this campus, I already knew. I knew it was a place that was special and that was going to love me back, and that I didn't have to be concerned about them turning their back on me. I don't know how many times, is Mr. T here? I think any Serra dinner, anything Padre, anytime somebody has anything to say about Serra, it's like, one of the things they say is Mr. T. And I couldn't wait to get up here and Mr. Taylor saved my life. And I'm freshman year, I mean, I don't trust anybody, right? I'm just here, I'm ready to play ball, and I want to do my thing. So I don't really understand how things work, but at the time, you obviously think you know everything. So I get here, Mr. Taylor, I want to introduce myself. He's like this loving, amazing, awesome guy. And immediately I felt, my instinct said, wow, this guy's amazing. I can trust him. And he saved my life. I'll never forget. So I go to his office just to say hi, and he's got this huge stack of cup of noodles. I don't know if he still does it. I said, oh man, you eat cup of noodles? So do I. He says, actually, they're for sale, 25 cents. You already know, I showed up the next day at lunch, 4 quarters, 3 cup of noodles, and a soda. And that was our relationship for 4 years. Thank you, Mr. T. So I wanted to start off with that. The next point I wanted to talk about was just my experience here attending Serra. And Mr. T made it a place that instinctively I knew was going to be a place that changed my life forever. And I can trust this place. I can trust people here. The next most important thing to me after food, football. At that time, it was Mr. Duggan. I don't know if Mr. Duggan's here. But if anybody knows Mr. Duggan, he's got a different look. And if you're 14 and you have a chance to meet Mr. Duggan, I wasn't scared of nothing. But Mr. Duggan, I don't know. But as I go through these experiences, I just want to be able to touch base on so many people that, it's tough. One of the hardest things to do is put into, enough time in 15 minutes of a lifetime of blessings and challenges. But I just kind of want to fly a couple experiences to help people understand how this amazing place, how amazing people like you played such a huge role in saving somebody's life and changing my mindset on how this world works. Mr. Duggan, tough love, father figure. He was a mentor, and he truly helped me understand earn the right. I got that pretty quick, and when they hand out jerseys, I don't know how they do it now at Serra, but back then, you can't pick your number. You got to earn the right to wear that S on your chest, and you are assigned a number. And for me, I was like, hold on, man. First of all, I'm a running back. And second of all, we don't wear number 45. And as the season went on, he brought me into his office and he said, listen, after watching you run around a little bit, I wanted you to understand 2 things. One, you're going to earn the right to be here. And you've done that, and I appreciate that. Through inspiring teammates and being a great team player, but never really the me type player, he wanted to make sure I understood that, and he appreciated that, and I appreciated him for that. Second thing is, I had to ask him, like, why 45? To this day, he says, oh, you remind me of a running back, Archie Griffin. And I said, who? I was hoping he was going to say like Barry Sanders or something. And to this day, I've never understood who that was. Small story. I mean, it's real quick. I know I'm a limited time, but I have a little nephew. My son had a brother. He's 5 years old. And he can't wait to be a running back. He can't wait to play football. And hopefully he's a Padre. We were watching the Heisman Trophy awards night, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, has anybody gotten that award twice?" I said, "Nah." So I look it up. Lo and behold, Archie Griffin is the only running back to get the Heisman back-to-back. Mr. Duggan, thank you. Mr. Hessian, I don't know if you're here, my English teacher. He taught me honesty and do things the right way. So I said, okay, in order to learn that, I said to myself, I said, okay, I'm going to English class, I'm walking down the class, and all of a sudden, I don't know if anybody, well, if you're familiar with how I do things, I forget things a lot, like my books. So it's the start of a new semester. I'm sprinting to English class. I'm late. I sit down. David, you're late. Great. Awesome. You got your English book. And my best friend, now my brother, says, "Hey, man, here's your English book." So I pretend to reach for my English book, and he kicks his English book over to me. I said, "Yep, it's right here." He says, "All right, you got your vocab book?" I said, "Yep." I look down. My friend's like, "No. I said, "Yeah, I think it's in my backpack somewhere." So I'm digging around, and my friend's like, No, we don't have a vocab book. I said, "I got it." He said, "That's interesting, because we don't have a vocab book this semester." Do things the right way, David. Be honest. And so I'm, now it's sophomore year, and just to really touch base and help people understand my situation and how tough things are at home. As you can see, I'm having a wonderful experience here at Serra, and it's reteaching me, it's reprogramming my mind and how this world works. But if I were just to touch base at this point in my personal life, substance abuse in my life got pretty bad, and I spent the next 3 years, it was 7 days a week, and it became a real problem. For me, this place became special. I couldn't wait to get here, to spend the rest of my days with my brothers. From 9 to 6, I knew I was gonna be safe, and I can just be me. After 6 o'clock, it's survival. I could survive, but I knew in my heart it wasn't right. And every day that I got to come here and spend every day with my brothers changed my life slowly but surely. For me, junior and senior year, I wasn't really at home. I was living at friends' houses. I was on and off. Things got pretty bad. I was 100% committed to the street life, but my heart just kept begging me every day, you know what's right. And the more time I got to spend here, the more I started to listen to my heart. I came home one day, my junior year. My mom was crying. My sister's mad at me. I said, "What's going on?" I said, "The police were just here. They have a warrant out for your arrest for assault and battery and robbery." And I tried to play it off like, "Oh, that wasn't me." Long story short, I got suspended from school. I got the phone call from Mr. McKenzie, my coach at the time, head coach, mentor. Say, "Hey, man, you're suspended. We'll get into it later." A lot of legal things happened. I got a phone call Friday from Mr. McKenzie. So I was suspended from Monday to Friday. I get a phone call Friday morning and said, "David, listen, a couple things are gonna happen, but I just need to make sure that you're on board with what I'm about to do." And I said, "Anything you say, I'm in, as long as I get to go back to my brothers Monday." He said, "I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I can assure you this, that Mr. Peterson and myself are gonna sign up and say a couple things. One, if we ask this young man not to come back to this school, he's either gonna die or go to jail. Or we can bring him back to this school and we can save his life and change his life forever." My mom and I waited till 3 p.m. and we didn't even breathe. Got the phone call, said, "We'll see you Monday." My life changed forever. I come from a place where it's inconsistent to have commitment and loyalty. Nobody's real in my life at that point. To come to a new place, an extended family, to have my back like that, to show me loyalty and willing to stick your neck out for me, you already know I'm gonna earn the right and I'm gonna fix this. So I just wanna say thank you to Mr. McKenzie, Mr. Peterson, and everybody that was involved that made the decision to save my life forever. I can't wait to continue to earn the right every day of my life. There's so many stories that go into this, but hopefully you get the idea that this literally saved my life. If I could change the name of this thing, it'd be Fun to Life, because you saved my life. Going into my senior year and getting ready to hopefully graduate Serra High School, like I said, I wasn't really home. I was in and out, trouble, and Rick, if you don't mind standing up. Rich Gadosi and Karen, please stand up. I need people to see who was such a huge part of my life. Thank you. When I say Serra High School saved my life, Serra High School provided me with long-lasting family. I'm sure they were excited to have David move in for a month. Literally, I met people that changed my life, a family. People knew what I was going through, and they opened up their doors and allowed me to live at their houses. Truly was a special place, and I want to make sure everybody here understands you're literally funding dreams, and you're part of something, and you're supporting something. Even though I graduated from '99, the fact that you're here in this building, everything you do, your energy, your support, your work, your money, is literally saving lives, so thank you. Going back to football, I was pretty good at it. I had a good experience here at Serra, and my senior year was a special year for me. But if anybody truly knew me, football wasn't really important. It was the experience and the things that I got to express through running the football. Again, to touch base on how serious this is for me and how much this school saved my life, anybody that was part of the '98 football team, I love you guys. Seriously, coaches and players, you guys are a huge part of saving my life, and here's why. One game out of my senior year stuck out to me so much. I remember I was in a survival moment on a Friday night. Things got out of hand and I had to sleep at a park. I missed the bus for the game. Immediately, phone calls went out. Called my mom. Mom's talking to my sister. Where's your brother? They found me at a park sleeping. I didn't really have anywhere to go, and it was too late, and I didn't have money to take a bus. I was just kind of stuck. I was in a real tough spot. I sped to the game. They found me. I ended up making it to the game. Didn't get to start. McKenzie fashion, discipline. But at the time, I don't think they understood what was going on. They didn't know, so this is the first time I'm probably talking about it. But it plays into the next couple experiences here at Serra. I had a pretty good game that night, but it was an opportunity for me to say thank you, but nobody really knew that. Football truly was an opportunity for me to say thank you, and I hope everybody understands that now. This school saved my life. These players, this family, everything I was a part of. I wanted to show everybody that was a part of my life that understood I was appreciative of what's going on and this opportunity. So thank you to the '98 season. Coach Vignal, words will never explain. As a player in my situation, for a coach to look at you, not as a football player, but as a man, a young man, going through a lot. He never had to say it. He helped me understand faith and unconditional love existed outside of my mom and my family. Because regardless of my performance in the field, or anything I was going through, he never judged me. He loved me, and he was going to be there for me, and he is to this day. And I appreciate you. The whole staff, thank you. Coach Vignal, shout out. Coach Carter, I never got to play for you, but you always helped out. And honestly, I've never met anyone like you. I felt like I played for you my whole life. To this day, I'm 33, I'm calling you Coach Carter. I got so much love for you guys, thank you. Coach Jeffries. Coach Jeffries is one amazing human being. We have stories I can talk about all night, but at the end of the day, for somebody to come into my life and change my life the way you could, I mean, nobody could really change my life at any point as much as he did, because I thought I knew everything. But I did though, right? Coach Jeffries? What an amazing opportunity. He was literally my guardian angel, because my senior year was the toughest time of my life. And to have him be a part of it and guide me and help me understand faith and vision, patience through football to understand it now. Thank you. I love you so much. Mr. Ferretti, are you here? I had to get clearance from this. When I got the call from Coach Carter, immediately when I walked in, I saw Mr. Ferretti. I said, oh, Mr. Ferretti. I got a story I want to share with everybody. I want to make sure you're okay with it. He says, go ahead. To represent the staff and the teachers of the school and how special they are, Mr. Ferretti took the time to understand my life and what was going on. I'm heavily involved with the school system right now, and that's what I do for a living. And I have yet to come across a teacher that is willing to do whatever it takes to understand their student and then find a way to help them understand that you're there for them and you want to see them be successful. I was going through real tough times. And when I got here to school, Mr. Ferretti always knew through energy it might be a tough moment in my life. He said, David, you know what? Go ahead and go to the back of the classroom and take a nap. I understand. I'm here for you. If you need anything, let me know. When you get up, see me at lunch, and we'll go over the test together. That changed my life. To know that somebody else is willing to sacrifice things that they do to help someone else. Don't expect to accomplish your dreams if you're not willing to help others accomplish theirs. Mr. Ferretti, thank you. Closing into my senior year, Mr. Peterson, words will never express the moment you called me into your office, standing there with my Letterman jacket. I couldn't even afford a Letterman jacket. He understood that. He knew things were tough. But the final moment, the defining moment to know that I earned the right to be a Padre for life was when he called me into that office and gave me that Letterman jacket. I mean, you would have thought he gave me a Bugatti. I'm an emotional person. I do everything instinctively with my heart. And at that very moment, I was so thankful for you giving me the opportunity to be part of this family and allowing me to accomplish my dreams, so thank you. Last but not least, as far as my experience, graduating Serra, Mr. McKenzie, and at that time, football was a big part of my life. A lot of good things were happening, doing some pretty cool stuff on the field. But for me, it was awesome to have a head coach truly understand why I was running that football. It was a night like this. It was our football award banquet. Everybody was getting cool awards. I got some awards. But he knew I really wasn't interested at that time. He knew my heart, and every breath that I take was for my superwoman that has given me every opportunity to be successful. So at the end of the night, he says, we have one more award. Everybody can't wait to leave. You start to hear purses and jackets moving. He says, one more. He says, I know this lady. She's one of the most strongest, most committed, most amazing women I've ever met, because she's willing to do whatever it takes for her kids. especially her young man that's here at Serra. Mr. McKenzie had the whole football team sign a football and put it into a glass box and said, I just wanted to recognize someone that had spent her life living for other people. She truly defined what it meant to don't expect to accomplish your dreams if you're not willing to help others accomplish theirs. And I love my mom for teaching me that. For me, when he said, Betty Taufoou, please stand up, I didn't even know what to do with myself. And there was this huge standing ovation. The place erupted. It was crazy. So I wanted to thank Mr. McKenzie for so many things, but specifically that, because he knew how important my mom was to me. For her to have that moment, for her to have that recognition. Every time I ran that football, anything that came with football meant everything in the world to me. And I felt like I earned the right to be able to finally give my mom a chance to feel special. So thank you, Mr. McKenzie, for that. I know I'm running into time's getting tight. I understand. Please, I'm gonna do my best to fly through this. But my final thank yous. Everything you've heard tonight. There's so many more you can imagine. But my life has been built around the idea of don't expect to accomplish your dreams if you're not willing to help others accomplish theirs. To be a Padre, to be a part of this family, to be a part of this ongoing legacy is a dream come true, and I cherish it every day. And so I want to start a company, I want to start a nonprofit to make sure that I paid it forward every day, every moment that I get. So my wife and I, and our sister/best friend, spend every day living that out. That's the mission of our nonprofit. We mentor high school kids and we give them opportunities to be a part of an amazing family, an extended family like Serra. So we've partnered up with high schools, private high schools, college prep schools, to be able to give them an opportunity to experience what I've experienced. Unfortunately, young ladies can't come here, so. But we've partnered up with schools that do that. So I want to get into the idea of to start anything, to build anything, it takes great people, it takes amazing people. It was a dream come true for me to build this thing with Padres, literally. So the first person I'm hoping to ask stand up is Mike Giotinis, please. Thank you. Mike knows everybody, so I'm sure everybody knows Mike. But I want to tell you why Mike and his family and his wife Athea are special to me. For anybody to support my dream and my passion and my mom's legacy, you already know what I would do for you. You're instantly family. I was introduced to Mike, and it was without question. I went in for a handshake on our first meeting. He said, "What the hell is that?" "You're a Padre, right?" I said, "Oh, yeah." So we gave a big hug. From that moment on, it's been 3 years. Mike has changed the direction of our organization on a whole nother level. And I want to appreciate you for starting that, because at that time, it was a startup in our 2-bedroom apartment. And it was self-funded. Because for me, I didn't really understand how things work, but I was going to spend the rest of my life doing what I know is right, and that's pay it forward. And I've kind of changed it with Padre It Forward. Mike has a couple of nicknames. He's my godfather / secret ninja / Mike bleeds blue and gold. So I feel competitive with Mike, like, you don't love Serra more than I do. Yeah, I do. And we go back and forth all day. So I appreciate you, Mike. And then there's Pam Fasella. This is an interesting story. And I promised myself that I'm gonna get through this without crying, so, okay. My mom and I are built off energy. I remember when I wanted to start a nonprofit, I had to get involved and do things that I don't want to do. I hate talking. I'm serious. Definitely public speaking. I've gotten better at it, but They wanted to ask me to get more involved in the community and start going to fundraisers and things, and I'm like, okay. So I started going to lunches and dinners. And after 4 or 5 lunches and dinners, I see this lady all the time, and she's always on the microphone. Her name's Pam. So I go home to my mom, I said, Mom, there is this lady. She is so involved with changing so many lives and so many things. She reminds me a lot like you, because you just want to do so much good in the world and you want to help so many people. But I just never had the chance or the right time to really introduce myself to Pam. 7 years later, many, many opportunities to say hi to Pam. Mike calls me for a lunch, says I have an extra seat. Come on up, it's free lunch. And so I said, okay. So I run up there and there's Pam again. She's the MC of the event, and I'm like, okay, today's the day. I'm gonna introduce myself to Pam. So finally I do. 7 years. My mom always told me it's gonna happen one day. Instinctively, I knew we needed someone like Pam just to be a part of what we're doing, because we need big hearts, strong hearts to make things happen, make big things happen. So Pam, thank you so much for everything you do and are going to do with us. I'm so excited. It's an honor to know you. For some of you that might not know, my mom passed away 2 years ago. And so it is my life commitment to do this work and to carry on the legacy that I've been honored and blessed to be a part of, and everything that I've learned here. It's hard to explain to anybody that's not part of this family or this community that when I say I wanted to recreate my experience at Serra High School in an organization and pay it forward and do it over and over again, it's kind of hard to explain because it's special here. So special that I just want to touch base on a couple things to help you guys understand how far your investment, how far your investing in a dream has gone. I've been doing this for 5 years with our team. 100% of our kids graduate high school. 100% of our kids graduate high school that come from where I come from, that don't get the experience to go to Serra. But because you guys gave me an opportunity to learn how this world works and how to do things right and work my butt off and earn the right, I'm able to do it over and over again. And I'm not gonna stop, because these kids need us. Over $2.7 million in the 5 years have been earned in scholarship money. We got kids going to Cal, Washington State, Hawaii, Iowa State, you name it. But the most beautiful thing is they're not athletes. They're young men and women that understand how this thing works, how this thing of life works. You set a goal, you work your butt off, you do things right, you're honest, you be true to yourself. Anything's possible. Put yourself around the right people. My superwoman put me around the right people. Not only was I able to do things for myself, but now I can pay it forward. So I want to thank you guys so much for everything you've done and everything you're continuing to do through me, because I'm gonna make sure it happens. Every day that I wake up, our team is committed and devoted, and we're driven, we're competitive. It's in our nature to make sure we find every kid that needs an opportunity, we make it happen. We leverage our contacts and our hard work, and we make it happen. There is no what ifs, because Serra didn't give me a what if. They said, this is how it's gonna work, and this is why, and you are important. So I appreciate and say thank you again for everything you've done for me. One last thing. I'm gonna ask Scott Probst, Chris Snyder, and Rick Adosi to come up here, please. The reason I'm asking them to come up here is because this is the most important gift that I could have ever received from this school. If I grew up thinking a gang was gonna help protect my family, if I grew up thinking a gang was gonna be there for me for the rest of my life, I thank God every day that my superwoman introduced me to a new gang. Because this gang right here, I know they ugly. And they look crazy. But there's too many stories and too many experiences to divvy up, and I don't have enough time, so I appreciate it. I probably went over time, but these gentlemen here, everything I've ever told you, embody our experience. When I say Serra High School saved my life, yeah, everything I learned, I'm paying it forward. But honestly, it's, how many years? We graduated 2 years ago?
We met in 95.
Oh, okay. We'll go with that. It's been 19 years. 19 years later, my gang is helping me wake up every single morning to give kids an opportunity to achieve their dreams and accomplish their dreams. So it's safe to say that on behalf of my football team, everybody here at Serra, the staff, anybody that's involved, I want to say thank you for providing me with the long-term family and friendship and relationships to do the work that I do. Because without Serra, without the opportunity to come here, without the opportunity to meet my brothers, I can't do what I do, which is accomplish my dreams, and I'm dreaming it every day, I'm living it every day. Scott Probst, Chris Snyder, Rick Adosi, I love you guys so much. These dudes saved my life in so many ways. It's too much to say. And I keep saying last but not least, huh? Okay, one more, I swear. If I can have my wonderful wife, Allie, stand up. And my wonderful sister, Allie, stand up. It's safe to say that the law of attraction works. So if Serra created a young man that is driven and hungry to change the world and make things happen, if I've gone from the football field and earned the right, you can already know that the mission that I'm driven to do to shape the future of these young kids with my new gang, my wonderful wife, and my sister Allie, it's only a matter of time. Just give us a little bit of time. Give us enough support, and it's gonna happen. So I wanna thank every single person that's ever been involved, that's here, that's not here, that's ever been involved in my life and my experience here at Serra. Thank you, and I love you for the opportunity to change my life, save my life, fund my dream. I am a dream. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, thank you for this opportunity.